This nibble originally aired on RSBANDB Update, episode 770. The Zodiac is back. Enjoy. All right, discussion question this week from Sunset Fish. With archaeology just a football kick away, let's talk about all the other skills. If you could completely revamp a skill, how would you change it?
Okay.
I think we got to get the elephant out of the room here.
Yeah, I mean, I think I know what we would both
Construction rework?
Of course. I mean, of course.
And, you can add other stuff to construction. And I think what everybody is, most wanting in a construction rework is the player-owned house to be reworked.
Yes. And let's do it, let's do it in the style of the aquarium. You know how that was a little
How there's
different,
like the little grid that you can move stuff around with, right?
That would be cool. I mean, at least that's a start.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know a prototype exists of that somewhere. I forget whether it was on the RS3 side or the old school side, but a prototype definitely exists.
Yeah. I mean, that to me is like, at least that would be a starting point. And, and I don't really know where to go from there. I definitely have lots of ideas for new rooms and new stuff. I mean, old school actually even has some of the things that I have suggested in the past.
I think you could get away with reworking the house just to effectively improve the UI side of it, so to speak, kind of like they did with the bank. If you can improve the UI side of it and you can give people a reason to congregate at the house as a social setting, I think you will have done it.
Yeah,
because house parties used to be a big thing.
Yeah, I mean, and even, in prayer altars, I guess they're still kind of.
Yeah.
But they were a much bigger thing, I guess.
You could have a sandpit for archaeology.
Yeah, I was thinking something like that.
Greenhouse instead of the aquarium that we got. I know Earth is still salty about that, so am I.
I've always been a big proponent of a bathroom.
A bathroom?
Yeah.
Interesting.
A bathroom, man. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. The bathroom is missing, or the loo as they call it in the UK.
Yeah, but see, you could have a tub that could have like different water, like you have at the springs,
right? Or maybe you could even have your own special blend.
You could have your own special blend. I always thought you could have like a jewelry box where you could put your jewelry in, and just I don't know. I think there was a lot of possibilities there. A lot of fun stuff.
And a fun little side effect on this, we were actually back in the day going to build a house designer and we only built the top end of it, and that's what you see on the website right now. But the house designer we have, you were also going to be able to click on one of the individual rooms that you had there. And in addition to that, you would be able to configure how exactly that room was laid out. And this goes to kind of the overview that we've seen before, being able to place furniture and whatnot, just like you do in the aquarium. So I think if they did that, they worked on the social factor in some way. I don't even know how you would do that in this day and age. How would you make player-owned houses sociable?
I'm not a miracle worker, Shane.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I know.
You'd have to there has to be a reason to go. Part of the reason before was because high levels had stuff that other people didn't have access to, so you'd have to go to their house.
Yeah. And, POHs were a way to show off. And I don't know how you do that in modern RuneScape with POHs, just because some people have so much money.
Well, I guess you could, if you're an advocate for taking people's cultural heritage away from and out of their countries, you could have little exhibits in your home.
Oh, that'd be fun. And that could tie into archaeology, maybe. Or,
right.
If they're God.
I'm saying it's probably the moral thing to do, but you could do that.
Yeah. Okay. And see, this is where I want to kick it back to the community: is how do you make player-owned houses sociable again? Because I think if you do that and solve the UI problem, that's all you need to do for the POH rework. And that in its own sounds, it's like a 2-sentence brief for a project that would take months and months to do, just based on how many items there are in there. So I'm going to answer this question with a little bit more realism to it in terms of something that is actually achievable and would probably get the go-ahead at some point in the future because the resources aren't as sparse for it. That's to make items for the magic and range skills that are like the melee skill with smithing, like throw in crafting and rune crafting and have it so we can make our own high level, tier 90, 85-ish equipment for magic and ranged in the crafting skill. Maybe with a dash of rune crafting thrown in. And fletching for the range side, because sure, you can make your own ammo with the fletching skill and you can make your own runes with the rune crafting skill, but where are we on that armor front? It doesn't exist. So
I mean, I would say the only other possibility is if you were saving that from like an enchanting skill or something.
But could you see ranged armor being in an enchanting skill, or is that primarily magic based?
No, I was thinking magic based.
Yeah. Okay. So that's the answer that I think is more actionable, and we're probably likely to see from how high that scored on last year's survey.
We'll see. I mean, they know it's what we want.
Yeah.
And we know it's what they don't want to touch.
And we know that there's players in the game, or in Jagex, in particular with the people who are working on archaeology, who are hardcore RS players. So if the game needs something, there's a very high chance that we will get it at some point. And then if I could just say one other thing on this that I'd like to see in terms of a skill rework, please, let's just have something woodcutting related equivalent to deep sea fishing.
Yeah.
Because
woodcutting something.
Because, I mean, you can go cut elders like I do. You can go to your island for bamboo or do crystal trees. And, I mean, that's really not a lot of choice. Mining has much more choice in it in terms of how you play, because you can lean forward or you can chase the rock opportunities, or you can just AFK. Woodcutting doesn't have that. And the stuff that you get from woodcutting, aside from the elders, really isn't that useful. So I'd like to see stuff from the woodcutting skill, items from the woodcutting skill, made useful in some way or another.
Yeah, I mean, do you have any idea how many lumberjacks have been out of work? I mean, long time now.
Yeah. And, I mean, we see it with fishing, that it's good with the deep-sea fishing and the way that works. We saw what mining had into it. And I don't think you'd need to do a wholesale rework like they did with mining for woodcutting. You just need to add some usefulness to the wood and maybe provide some lean forward and more varied training methods. And I think that would solve that problem. So I think those are the three. You can watch full episodes of RSBANDB Update right here on this YouTube channel. You can also listen to audio versions of RSBANDB Update at update.rsbnb.com, and feel free to subscribe to our show and any number of podcast listeners out there at update.rsbnb.com/subscribe.